A warm welcome to you to the Power Station Energy 100. Today it is, of course, like we all should know, a corner chat. Let's talk business with Mr. Daniel Steinman. And today we will be talking interim budget. But before we go into that, Mr. Daniel Steinman, welcome.
Thank you, Elsie. As always, very good to be here.
Of course, it has become like home to talk about these things because we learn every day.
I'm sure you are going to enroll for BEcon at UNAM next year.
Let me not say next year.
And you don't need to start in the first year. You can start in the
third year even. But in any case, like I said, interim budget, Mr. Daniel Steinman, can you explain to us or give us a definition or, just break it down for us when people say interim budget? What do they mean by it?
Elsie, I didn't expect that question because I couldn't imagine that there's anybody who doesn't know what the interim budget is. But thinking about it, it's a very valid question.
Yeah.
So let's start our bigger painting, by making a few sketches, just a few lines. We have a financial year that runs from the 1st of April until the 30th of March.
Yeah.
That is what they call the sovereign financial year or the fiscal year. It means that the government's financial year does not exactly align with the normal private sector financial year, which is usually from the 1st of March.
Okay.
You know that whole thing about 28 February tax D-Day and so there's a I don't want to call it a misalignment, but let's say there's a discrepancy of 1 month between private sector finances and government fiscal year. Now, why this is so, I'm not sure, because it wasn't like this right in the beginning. But what I suspect is, now remember, you asked me why is it an interim budget and what is an interim budget. So we were always late with the budget in the 10 years after independence.
Okay.
It's like we battled to get it right. It was just too complex and too many figures to work with. So the budget usually that was intended to start on the 1st of March usually only came out at the end of March, sometimes even the first week of April.
Okay.
I'm talking about 1996, 1997, 1998. So we were still in diapers, if I can put it like that, in terms of budgeting on a national scale.
Okay.
Because it is a very big, complex exercise.
It is.
Yeah, and over the years, for somebody like myself who has observed this every year, you could see the improvement. What a previous Minister of Finance would have called the building of capacity. We started getting the hang of how to budget. We never gained that 1 month that we were behind. So it was easier to move the fiscal year. So instead of trying to catch up 1 month, we just extended it by 1 month.
Okay.
So that is, I think, where this whole thing comes from, why the government's fiscal year runs from the 1st of April, and that is not an April Fool's joke. Sometimes in the past, when I saw the budget, I thought, this is really an April Fool's joke. But then, very important date, 2003, was the year when we acceded to the IMF budgetary structure for middle-income countries. Now
that is the International Monetary Fund.
Yes. Now, this is a mouthful. What exactly does he mean by we acceded to the IMF structure? It means that we started working on the medium-term expenditure framework, MTEF. And what it means is that from the 2003 budget, we budgeted for 3 years in advance.
Okay.
Now, you have to be realistic how this process works. A budget is just a guideline. Budget is not cast in stone. You have to be flexible in the budget.
Yeah,
and we've seen this in Namibia very, very clearly demonstrated since 2017, where we had to revisit our budget every year. That budget that we get in March, somewhere later in the year, you had deficits in certain ministries and agencies, and you had surpluses in others.
Yeah.
So what it means is that some of the executive directors were more frugal than others. So in some ministries we saved money, while in others we needed more money.
Yeah.
And you can remember Mr. Schlettwein, he was very adept at slicing small amounts off here, in about 20 ministries, and allocating them to 4 or 5 ministries where it was really needed, like education or health. What I'm showing you here is that you need to be able to go back somewhere between your main budget to the whole process, and you need to be flexible, and you need to reallocate some spending.
Yeah.
So that you can take money from those ministries and agencies that don't need all of the allocated amount, and you can reallocate it to other ministries where there's a shortage, and this is the interim budget.
Yeah.
So it's basically 6 months after April.
Okay.
We get to the interim budget, so it's a halfway mark for the government. And it since we started, I think we started with that in about 2013.
Okay.
So, and 2013 is also an important year for another reason. Let's go for a short break, and then when we come back, I take it from 2013 further on.
Okay. With that said, let's go for a short break, and we'll be back after these.